So, anyways, Ken's and I went last Friday to go see Modest Mouse, who we're listening to their new album today. That's what today's stream is going to be. Surgical Mittens on our Discord, aka my longtime buddy that I've known since I was like 17 years old, Sam, wanted me to listen to this for reasons, even though I told him I've already heard it. We're going to listen to it tonight. So I've only listened to this album once, and that was like the first. He's kind of an old fogey, kind of. He wanted us to listen to this new album because I have a feeling he didn't think I listened to it. But my girlfriend, Ken's, who you guys know through, I think the last stream she was on, we listened to the new Dark Throne album, but she's been on the stream a number of times. Her favorite band in the world is Modest Mouse. So when she heard that they were coming through Wisconsin, she bought tickets immediately. She's like, hey, this date, we don't have kids. I just bought us tickets to Modest Mouse. Get ready. I'm like, all right, let's fucking go. I can get down with it. But the first day this album came out, we were taking a trip up to the UP, which is the Upper Peninsula of Michigan. And we listened to this album on the drive. And I got to be honest, I enjoyed it quite a bit. Nothing was going to stop her. No, not when it comes. Nothing's coming in between her and Modest Mouse. You better fucking believe it. I quite enjoyed this album, but because there's been so much music coming out, and because we listen to so much music here, it just got lost in the shuffle, and I haven't really revisited it. So it's been, a few months since it came out? June. It came out June 5th, and I listened to it one time, and I've been meaning to re-listen to it. There were a few tracks that they played live that I thought were absolutely amazing. I'm trying to think, I can't think what the actual single, I think it's I Can't Talk Right Now. Yeah, that's the single from like their first single they put out. I remember they played that, and this is a really good song. Why are you so scared? Why are you so scared? Do you not like Modest Mouse? Honestly, I felt, and this is just not to put the cart before the horse, I felt this album's just as good as any of the other ones. Well, this is a thing that I do as well, but I think as listeners of music that we like, we got to allow bands to do their thing, right? We can't hold them up to the standard of like their best albums. You just got to let them do their thing and see where it fits into what you like and what you don't like. Yeah, of course, everybody loves Lonesome Crowded West and The Moon in Antarctica. Those are fucking amazing albums, but those were made like over 20, 30 years ago, right? Like Modest Mouse has been around since the 90s, I believe. Let's look back. Because I remember, 96, 97. I've been listening to him since about 97, I believe. Because I had a friend back in college that I was in a band with for a long time who introduced me to Modest Mouse. And I think it was either Lonesome Crowded West or it wasn't Moon in Antarctica. It was definitely Lonesome Crowded West was the first album I heard of theirs. And I loved them from day one. I ended up seeing them live in Seattle at Bumbershoot, probably like a little after The Moon in Antarctica came out. They opened for Sonic Youth, and I was just blown the fuck away by them live. They were so fucking good, man. So I stuck with them till I believe I kind of like dipped out, and not for any real reason. I kind of dipped out around We Were Dead Before the Ship Even Sank. I liked this album. It's been a long time since I've listened to it. But for some reason, I like when the new albums came out, like I've heard No One's First But You're Next and Strangers to Ourselves, and they're fine. They're good. But I never listened to The Golden Casket because there was a number one that looks like 6 years in between these albums. So coming into the album today, Eraser and Amaze, I didn't know what to really expect when I heard this new album, because I definitely didn't know where they were at since, 2015. Um, and I gotta admit, upon first listen, I was very, very, very pleased with this album. Now, those of you out there who have never listened to Modest Mouse, they are definitely not your normal kind of alt rock band. I don't really know a clear way to describe what their sound is if you've never heard it. They are definitely along the lines of like an alt rock band that has like hints of folk, Americana, noise. I mean, there's definite like Radiohead and Sonic Youth vibes and Pixie vibes to them, but they also love that Americana sound with just a singer with a an acoustic guitar, upright bass, banjos. But it's all like really strangely off kilter and kind of angular at times. And it all comes down to their lead singer, Isaac Brock, who is probably one of the most idiosyncratic artists like working in alt rock, because you're not going to hear anything that really sounds like him. I've always felt like the real defining factor of Modest Mouse is this person. He's basically been the forefront of this band since the beginning, right? And as of right now, I believe he's really the only remaining original member of the band. It's kind of been a rotating door for a number of years. But when you, and this was accentuated when I saw them live last Friday, the rest of the band plays pretty straightforward kind of alt rock mixed with folk kind of music, where he comes in and his voice is very not traditional. He's got a good voice, but he almost talk sings and he's kind of surly. So imagine if like a fucking like sea captain that had been drinking too much decides to like tell you stories and yell at you. It's kind of like Isaac Brock's style. That's what I've always felt his style was. I like when he sings into the pickups. Yeah. But his guitar playing also is entirely unique, because he's a really good guitarist, but for some reason I can't explain it. It's entirely his own way of playing. He plays stuff that just is never on time. And I don't think it's intentional. It's just how he plays, where the stuff he plays, you kind of expect it, but it's never where you expect it to be or how you expect it to be hit. And it creates this really strange off-tempo dynamic to all the music that I think is, kind of some of the draw of Modest Mouse. It has a very weird charm, and I've always enjoyed it, and seeing it live like solidifies it to me, because you got this huge band behind him. So he had two drummers, a keyboard player, a second guitarist, and the bass player, who looks like just this old fucking hillbilly bum, keep locking it down. He's got this huge band, and then he goes out there and it almost feels like he's playing in his own band. It's unique. That's the best way I can put it. But yeah, Modest Mouse, there's not any other bands that can really that even attempt to replicate the sound, because Isaac Brock kind of is the sound. You know what? I mean, what are you gonna? You can't really say much else. Wayne says, I haven't heard anything since they got the guitars from the Smiths, and I don't even think, is he on this record? He might be on this record. I forget. Because there was some controversy like a month or two ago, and the guy that they had on guitars, they had to kind of give the boot, because there was some controversy about him messaging a minor in inappropriate ways, but he claims he felt it was some fan that was fucking with him, so he fucked with them back in a very inappropriate way. I don't know if I believe that. It kind of felt like a bullshit excuse, but hey, man, I don't know. I don't know what's going down. It was all weird, but they had another guy come in to play with them live when we went and saw him. He was the one with the hot air balloon on the cover. Let's take a look real quick before we read the write-up for this album. I think that, well, yeah, that one's We Were Dead Before the Ship Even Sank. So he's not been in the band for quite some time. I forget what his fucking his name even was. Yeah, Johnny Marr. Yeah, Johnny Marr's not with them as far as I know. And this is a really good description of what Modest Mouse really is. It's like, well, this album, the way they describe it on Apple Music, is a gripping, satisfying recording with skittering tempos, jerky rhythms, and delightful surprises around every quirky corner. Lead singer, guitarist, and gifted songwriter Isaac Brock sounds positively manic. And that's basically kind of like Modest Mouse in a fucking nutshell right there. But today we're not listening to that album. We're going to be listening to the brand new album that just came out in June, An Eraser and a Maze. And here is on Apple Music the write-up that they put out for it. The 8th album from Modest Mouse is an end, a beginning, and a continuation, all in 15 tracks. An Eraser and a Maze, the 8th album from Modest Mouse. And then they fucking say it again, you stupid fucking write-up. The end and the beginning collide spectacularly on Third Side of the Moon, one of the most bittersweet and beautiful songs in the band's 3 decades. Shortly after a cancer diagnosis, drummer Jeremiah Green died on the last day of 2022. Over throbbing bass and snarling guitar, the famously energetic Isaac Brock wonders why he couldn't pay more attention to his quiet friend, why he wasn't a black box recorder to every thought Green ever had. Brock wrote the self-critical homage to the guitarist Simon O'Connor and bassist Russell Higbee, part of a new version of Modest Mouse that Brock has steadily built over the past decade. The tandem also helped with the politically disappointed diatribe, Look How Far, and the gorgeous Remember Yourself, Brock's ode to his daughters, written amidst recent bouts with mortality. After co-producing 2021's The Golden Casket, Jackknife Lee returns for several tracks here too, helping Brock build dizzying tunes where anything might happen. There is, for instance, an explosive opener, Picking Dragon's Pockets, with Brock howling about choosing a life of love over hate, and Song About Nothing is an absolute highlight, stapling the snarling energy of early Modest Mouse onto a web of unpredictable electronic textures. The band that made Lonesome Crowded West and The Moon in Antarctica can no longer exist. Brock is forging ahead with new collaborators who understand his enduring tightrope dance between chaos and control anyway. This is, in turn, as energized and inventive as Modest Mouse has sounded in years. And I absolutely fucking agree. How is this their only their 8th album? He takes his time, dude. I just think Isaac Brock doesn't like just churn out shit, right? He puts out what he wants to put out, which is fucking great to me. Because I've never heard a fucking dud album by them. Mind you, maybe we should listen to the Golden Casket sometime, because I've never heard that album. But every other Modest Mouse album I've ever heard, I've loved. So, speaking of which, let's get to the first track on An Eraser and a Maze, which is Picking Dragon's Pockets. Let's fucking go, dudes. Let's do this.
past you now, know your equipment.
It sounds like this sounds just as big as that album they put out. What was it? Good News for People Who Like Bad News, the album that has Flowed On it. It's kind of where their sound expanded once they hit kind of, because that was like their big major label debut, if I remember correctly. And since then, they've kind of had this huge sound about them. And the way that builds just feels like a lot of those albums that came out around that time of Modest Mouses. And it's a perfect like introduction to all the fucking chaos that's about to fucking happen. And then Isaac Brock comes in with his weird talky voice.
I ain't your pasture now. I ain't your pasture now. Know your equipment. An auditory trick. They're built that base to be licked. I am the tarmac. I'm the pilot. I'm the flight path. Can't get past that. Well, they'll go crazy if you don't go crazy somehow. And I'm not crazy about what they're so crazy about now. We've been eating our own. We've been eating our young. We've been eating our own young.
I think for an album that hasn't, like, we haven't really heard much of Modest Mouse in a number of years, to come out swinging the first track of this new album to have like a big pop song was a good fucking move.
Idle hands around the devil's throat. The suicide note that another's hand wrote, and we're used to this.
Because this is definitely one of the more poppier fucking tracks Modest Mouse has ever done.
And they'll go crazy if you don't go crazy somehow. And I'm not crazy about what they're so crazy about now. Pick your dragon's pockets in the way we go. Breathe in poison, then you breathe out smoke. It's clear I'm looking for an antidote. Where if that phone coming, she can cast your vote. I found out it's how low I'd go. Came up from the bottom looking like a ghost. I tried to go to Austin, but she did not know. Turns out when it rains, it snows. Leaves in the wind.
I'm giggling because sometimes when I listen to Isaac Brock sing, it reminds me of fucking Boomhauer from fucking King of the Hill, because he just kind of mumbles his way through everything. It's a bunch of fucking just nonsense. At least it sounds that way to me. I don't know if you guys have ever felt that way listening to Modest Mouse. Half the time it just sounds like some drunk guy fucking yelling at the wind. Fucking A, dude. This is a really dense fucking track. I definitely didn't listen to it with headphones on. The first time I listened to it, we were cruising down the street, down the road, down a highway, with it blasting in the car speakers. So hearing the nuances of the mix, where there's like all these acoustic guitars mixed with keyboards and electric guitars, it's just a huge sound. There's a lot going on musically in this track, on top of Isaac Brock's Boomhauer voice.
Fresh clothes on dirty skin, that means to meet no ends again.
Those big triggered bass drums.
Picking dragons' pockets into where we go. My eyes are there, eyes watch the show. Fats on, screens to flow. Well, pretty tricky little animal. Well, I'm not crazy about what they're so crazy about my own young.
What a fucking great tune. That's a great fucking tune. So poppy. There's like, I already have a bunch of stars on this. That shows you I've already listened to it. Like the mixture of actual drums and electronic drums. It's just a big pop tune. I fucking love that song. Let's get to the next one. Remember Yourself.
Cast my net to an empty sea. Yeah, I guess that I'm fumbling for things to say that I truly mean, but they will coalesce. Sometime I'll be dead and gone sooner than I hope, but I hope I'm wrong. Well, remember this when I'm gone. Remember yourself, not me. It'll get confusing, but that'll pass. The mind manufactures its own artifacts, then confuses again, and that is that. Just names on an empty page. Sometime I'll be dead and gone sooner than I hope, but I hope I'm wrong. Well, remember this when I'm gone, to remember yourself, not me.
This is the first time I'm sitting with the lyrics of this song. This song's fucking beautiful. I love it so much. Like what he's speaking towards, like somebody that's, you know, he's speaking about himself, you know, a theoretical, well, someday I'll be dead and gone. And I hope, you know, in all of your feelings, you just remember it was inevitable, but just remember, don't lose yourself in that grief, right? That's something that's so easily done, right? I've had a few friends and family members over the course of the last like 10 years that have passed. And it's really easy to get lost in that grief, right? And to remember that, guess what? There's nothing you can do about this situation. You got to like pick yourself up and continue to move on with life and not just be like completely crippled with grief. That's easier said than done. Like, I know he kind of, you know, speaks to that in this, but it's definitely like there's no truer words spoken there. But this sounds like classic old school fucking Modest Mouse to me. And of course, Apple Music decides, you know what? We're not going to fucking play. I hate that we have to listen to it like this. I think we were, what, like a minute 14, somewhere like that? Right here. This is where we were. You gonna play?
Cast my net to an empty sea. Yeah, I guess that I'm fumbling for things to say that I truly mean, but they'll soon come to me. Sip the same air and it feels benign. Yeah, it can be trippy, but it can be fine. You gotta maintain yourself a healthy mind and remember yourself, not me. Sometime I'll be dead and gone sooner than I hope, but I hope I'm wrong. Well, remember this when I'm gone, to remember yourself, not me.
What was that? Was that like a wood block that kept playing, like a super reverberated wood block in the background? Like the drums, there's a lot going on in drums that I can't quite like put my finger on if they're electronic or if they're just practical drums really drenched in effects work. I want to hear this again.
Cast my net to an empty sea. Yeah, I guess that I'm fumbling for things to say that I truly mean, but they'll soon come to me.
I have a feeling it's like either a sampled woodblock or it's some sort of triggered sound, because I don't think it's someone actually playing it, because it sounds identical every single time that it's hit. I think there's a lot of sequencing going on with the drums on this. I wonder, who did they have? Did they speak to if they had an actual drummer playing on this at all? An Eraser and Amaze band members. Damian Cox. Okay, so we got Isaac Brock on vocals, guitar, production, primary creative force. Simon O'Connor on guitar. Damon Cox on drums. Keith Carmen on keyboards. Russell Higby on bass. And Ben Massarella on percussion. So they had two percussionists when I saw them live as well. So this must be the same band that I basically, other than Simon O'Connor, which I don't think was there when we saw them the other night. This must be the band that we saw play for the most part. Cool stuff. There was like the guy, the percussionist was off to the side with his entire whole like setup where it almost looked like he kind of had a second drum kit, but it wasn't really. He did a lot of like shakers, and he had a like fucking plastic why can't like barrels and shit that he would hit on with mallets and a bunch of other shit. So it wasn't like traditional instruments that he was really playing with. So it could be some of that shit, and they just tossed a lot of like reverb and effects work on this.
Cast my net, doing it to see. Yeah, I guess that I'm fumbling for things to say that I truly mean, but they'll soon come to me. Sip the same air and it feels benign. Yeah, I can be trippy, but it can be fine. You gotta maintain yourself a healthy mind and remember yourself, not me. Sometime I'll be dead and gone sooner than I hope, but I hope I'm wrong. Well, remember this when I'm gone, to remember yourself, not me.
He doesn't even attempt to like get his double layered vocals to match up. I fucking love that kind of shit. It just reminds me, and I'm sorry I keep stopping this absolutely beautiful song. I was listening to on my ride home from a shoot I was on today. I was listening to Faith No More's first album, We Care a Lot. And I hadn't listened to that in a really, really long time. And Chuck Mosley, their singer, was one of these guys kind of like Isaac Brock that just had this very singular, unique kind of voice and presence. In that album, they did a lot of him doubling his vocals, but not in the way that Isaac Brock is doing. They just slathered that shit with so much effect that you couldn't really hear how weird he was making everything. And it fucking killed it for me. It absolutely, like, that album is just a fucking mess. There was like one or two songs on it that I liked, but this, when he doesn't line it up, there's just like, it's got character. It's got moxie. It's got charm. X-Pac! What's up, X-Pac? Welcome in, bud.
Cast my net, tune in to see. And yeah, I guess that I'm fumbling for things to say that I do believe it hasn't happened yet. Try to maintain an open mind, but if things aren't working, don't you waste your time. Yeah, it can be trippy and it can be fine. Remember yourself, not me. Hello, bow, the same poem. Paths across and then they move on. And we cast our shadows on an empty lawn. And remember ourselves, not we. Sometime I'll be dead and gone sooner than I hope, but I hope I'm wrong. Remember this when I'm gone, to remember yourself, not me. Sometime I'll be dead and gone, yeah, sooner than I hope, but I hope
interesting, like the mixture that he's going for with like the electronic and the acoustic, where it has this very kind of almost country vibe to it, but it's got this electronic underbeat to it. That's another fucking just solid ass fucking tune. I love that tune. What is the next one? I don't remember what the order of this. Life's a Dream is the next one.
When waking up and heading for the door and heading for the door.
Their bass player just locks it fucking down. When we saw them, who was it? Russell Higby? Dude just looked like this old timer that would play with fucking like Willie Nelson or whatnot. And he had this huge ass bass and he was just this really skinny, like string bean of a fucking man. Just locking it the fuck down on that bass, dude. So fucking good. Let's start this one over again. Oh, of course. Come on, Apple Music. Get your fucking shit together. Get your fucking shit together, Apple Music. I want to start the damn song over. It shouldn't be that difficult.
When waking up and heading for the door and heading for the door.
Just a kaleidoscope of fucking guitars playing there. That's fucking so wonderful. Let's go. Apple Music is not going to comply tonight, is it? It's like, fuck you, Derek. I'm going to play what I want to play. There it went. What a piece of shit.
Life's a dream and you head on back to sleep and you wake up, take up more space than you could need. And life's a dream, life's a dream, life's a dream, life's a dream. You wake up and you head on back to sleep and you wake up and everything's exactly as it seemed, as it seemed. Everything's exactly, life's a dream, life's a dream, life's a dream, life's a dream. You wake up and head on back to
Ooh, I like that.
in your dreams.
He's got one of those,
Exactly as it seems. You
he's got one of those, either he has those sticks that are going chick, 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 or one of those, it's not like the Rayman, but it's almost like a shaker where it's a big wheel that you just, someone doing that in the background. 3 songs in, this album is so fucking catchy. Like, I don't think I realized it the first time I listened to this, how fucking catchy all of these songs are. Even the slow ones, man.
Wake up, everything's forgotten. Life's a dream, life's a dream, life's a dream, life's a dream. Never when you sleep are you alone. When you go to sleep, you're not alone. Never when you sleep are you alone. When you fall asleep, you are not alone.
This song has huge Radiohead vibes with from that bass to just like the huge guitar, like wall of sound guitar going on. Obviously, Isaac Brock doesn't sound like Tom York even remotely, but the music behind it, this is very Radiohead-ish. It's really cool. Yeah, it's another solid ass track. Fucking 3 songs, just pure perfection so far. What is that? Is that a guitar going?
Life's a dream, life's a dream. Every time you head on back to sleep, you wake up and you've forgotten everything. So you head on back to sleep, and life's a dream, life's a dream, life's a dream, life's a dream.
There's so much fucking going on. Listening to this on headphones is a fucking trip because I don't even know how to like focus all of this. Like you pinpoint those vocals because they're so catchy. Like of anything I've ever heard of Modest Mouse, and I mean some of the other bigger tracks are all super catchy too, right? He tends to have a more rambly style of vocal, right? That harkens back to like folk singers that are telling stories and stuff like that, where this is very pop oriented. Like these first 3 tracks have definite hooks and definite melodies, and he's not just kind of rambling and yelling and doing the Isaac Brock thing. So he's definitely the anchor for just cacophony that's going on. Yo, what up, Puppy? Welcome in, Poppy. Good to see you, bud. How you doing tonight, bud? So yeah, there's a lot going on in this mix right now. Holy shit, let's go back. I think there's like that hook. He's singing it, then it's doubled, and then I think there's another either falsetto or a female singing. And then there's a keyboard, I think, also mirroring that vocal line. There's so many layers going on there. Love you some Modest Mouse. Well, you came to the right place, brother. Have you heard this new record yet? If you haven't heard it, Poppy, it's fucking good, dude. You sit on back, my friend. Crack open a cold one. And let's get some vibing going on, brother. This is good shit. Pure noise to just beautiful chimes. That was another good song, dude. That song's a trip. There's a lot going on there, dude. After all that noise, what a vibe. Third Side of the Moon is the next track. Oh, this song is so good.
Am I the shade or shadow? Well, I can't really tell, and I still cannot remember if your eyes were blue or green or brown.
This is like the first single I heard off of the album. They played this live and it was so fucking good. Like, this song is a great fucking song. I've definitely heard this one. I mean, I've heard all of these, but I've heard this one more than a few times. It's got such a great hook, and it kind of just is one of those songs that builds from very minimalist start to like this just driving kind of monotonous rhythm that you just gets stuck in your head. You didn't realize they were this mellow? Oh, they can be super mellow. Yeah, Modest Mouse can get super mellow, but they're also pretty fucking rocky, dude. Yeah, they get pretty noisy at times, but they're pretty mellow, dude.
Am I the shade or shadow? Well, I can't really tell, and I still cannot remember if your eyes were blue or green or brown. I wish I'd paid attention to every word that you'd ever said, but you always spoke in whisper. I wasn't good at listening. Well, I can't remember if your eyes were blue or green or red. Well, you always spoke in whisper. I ain't so good at listening. Dun, 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 dun. Harsh words by mother, but it turned out they were nice. She said, if you continue down this path, you're not the only one who dies. A few weeks later, I was told that you were gone. Well, I still just can't remember if your eyes were green or brown or blonde. I paid attention to every word that she...
I hate to stop this song because it's just so fucking good. I've always been a sucker for songs that start with almost nothing and then just keep building off of the same fucking melody, keep building and changing what you're hearing with different instruments, like withholding instruments and adding new instruments, and then just the mix keeps getting bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger until the very end. It's an undeniable force. and that's what I feel like works the best about this song. It's a very kind of simple thing with in that I mean, who can't fucking hum along to that bullshit, man? Super fucking catchy.
You ever said, but you spoke in a whisper, I'm not in your head. Well, I can't remember if your eyes were bleeding or glue or red, but you always spoke in a whisper. I ain't so
Good listening.
Found you frozen in your car. Well, the last time you were seen leaving the YMCA from the showers. Am I the shade or the shadow? Well, I can't really tell, and I still just can't remember if your eyes were even there at all.
I really like how low his voice is getting as he gets older. Like, he's always kind of had a kind of like a tenor voice, but his voice is really starting to get low when he wants it to. So what is that song about? What do you guys think that song's about? Like, it kind of seems like it's like about a drunk guy in a domestic violence situation. Like, let's look this up. Yeah, that's what it kind of seemed like, didn't it? A contemplative, melancholic exploration of grief, mortality, and the intangible space left behind after losing someone close. Third side of the moon. While the moon is commonly thought of in binary terms, the light and dark sides, or near and far sides, the third side represents an impossible invisible space, an emotional and spiritual plane that defies scientific logic and can only be understood through shared human experience and loss. And I'm just reading. Processing grief. The track deals with the fragmented, unreliable nature of traumatic memory. It contrasts stark, painful snapshots of the past, like the back of the police car, with a hazy confusion is what has been forgotten. Yeah, it kind of like, to me, it almost read like this was a person that definitely has lost someone in their life, whether willingly or unwillingly, and they don't quite understand why. It's a really dark song, isn't it? But it's like my favorite song on the album that I remember. Like, I've heard that song a number of times. That motherfucker is catchy. That's a catchy ass fucking tune, dudes. What does that say about me? Probably one of the more disturbing tracks is like my favorite track. All right, we're 5 songs in. Dog Bed in Heaven and Give It a Skeleton. This is This is a wild sidestep compared to the rest of the stuff we've heard so far. If I remember correctly, I think this is more of like an acoustic track. I don't remember.
In my dog bed in heaven.
Here, hold on. We'll go back. What's Cariosa saying? The way I interpret it, their spouse left after 7 years of domestic violence, was homeless, froze after showering at the YMCA. Yeah, that's kind of how I took it as well. Like, there was some real bad shit. Like, this guy was a real fucking shit heel. And he never, like, he only ever hurt himself, never paid attention to her, did only what he wanted. And then she eventually, like, was gone, right? That's pretty much how I read it too, Cariosa. All right, so dog bed in heaven, give it a skeleton.
In my dog bed in heaven, whimper in my sleep. Dreaming about them folks and I still missing me. In my dog bed in heaven, whimper in my sleep.
This is the stuff about Modest Mouse that I fucking love, where he just kind of like he's singing traditionally, but he's also kind of like hitting notes in a haphazard way that isn't traditional and also doesn't sound particularly in tune, but he fucking owns it and doesn't give a flying fuck. So it almost comes off. You remember when we were listening to Pavement and it was like slacker rock? Like this, I would almost term his forays into folk music as slacker folk.
Dreaming about them folks and also missing me. I'm gonna set a tent up in the yard, 'cause the sheetrock comes down way too far. 1, 2, 3, 4, 8 more pups. I'd like to stick around to see them all grow up. I want to live near where the trees are tall, but sometimes I still need to shop and all. Well, I wake up and my breath tastes sour.
How often, those of you that have lived in the country, have you had conversations where, if you've ever lived in a rural space, where you talk to people that live in like big cities, and you have that stupid conversation. It's like, man, I like the quiet of the country, but I do like going down the block to get me some groceries. I don't know if that's inherently a Wisconsin thing or if it's across the board, but man, do people like to be conflicted about living in a podunk, no, like like street light kind of town? They like to go visit the city, but they don't want to deal with the people. They like the convenience of things, but they want to go back to like crickets and nobody being the fuck around.
Oh, a couple more days I'll probably take a shower.
I didn't mean to like insult anyone with my horrible fucking voice. Living in the middle of nowhere fucking blows except for the silence. Yeah, that's pretty much it, right? Like, as I've gotten older, I have grown to appreciate like the silence of being in the middle of nowhere, but the convenience of having everything literally like minutes away can't be understated. And also not worrying about if something bad were to happen to me health-wise, or happen to my kids, or happen to those that I love, that we could get there very soon and we wouldn't have to be like helicoptered the fuck out. That's a reality here in Wisconsin. Like if you're in the deep woods, fuck, something happens to you, they're going to either have to helicopter you out or some emergency vehicle is going to have to drive a hell of a long way. Hope you don't fucking die.
Oh, I'd like to make sense, but just cannot do. I roll on my back to put on my shoes. I can go to heaven then I'll wake up. Say I wish I'd done a bunch of other stuff. I can go to heaven as I fall asleep. Oh, the people miss me and they weep and weep.
This is absolutely like the direct opposite of what he was saying in that one song, Remember Me, right? Where he's basically saying, you know what, we're all going to die, but don't sit and worry about me. Just remember yourself. Remember, you got to pick yourself up and move on. And here he's just some dingus. It's just like, you know what? I might go to heaven, but you all better fucking cry your own little hearts out, darling. God, I'm terrible, aren't I? You being such a dickhead.
I can go to heaven as I fall asleep. Oh, the people miss me and they weep and weep. In my dog bed in heaven with
The amount of reverb he's putting on like these wooden like percussion instruments is fucking hilarious to hear in the background. For folk music, man, this stuff is just drenched. It's like so wet. This entire album is so wet. There's so much reverb going on.
in my sleep.
Yeah, no matter what I do, Karios, it is what it is. I've lived most of my life in Wisconsin, and while you'd be surprised, Karios, at how many people, when you go out of Wisconsin, everybody is like, oh yeah, we know exactly where you're from. You can hear it. But people in Wisconsin, no shit, don't think they have an accent. Not even remotely lying. These people don't think they have an accent. Fucking dumbasses, dudes. Like, yeah, dude, you sound like a goddamn idiot. And I do too.
Dreaming about them folks that often miss me.
Why don't you go down to the Quick Trip and buy 2-3 beers? I sound like y'all when I get mad. Oh, Cariosa.
Dreaming about them folks that often miss me. Dreaming about them folks that often miss me.
That's a drastic change, right?
I like to speak in soft, stiff peaks. Rubber tips on every one of my teeth. Causing a skeleton to walk around. We own.
It kind of has that neutral Milk Hotel kind of vibe to it, that change of this song.
Gave ours a name. We're not your pets, hell, we're not even tame. Just some cats coming in from the rain. Sure, you're in the room, but let me explain. You were not the choice. If we gave it a skeleton, it could walk around. If we gave it a skeleton, it could walk around. Just give it a skeleton, so let it walk around, not just a name.
Like what was the thought process here to mash these two songs up together? Like they could be absolutely their own tracks. And I wonder if they started off in life as two separate tracks, and then he was just like, you know what, I'm just gonna mash these two motherfuckers together.
Every day starts out like it's gonna break. Any word can flatten the souffle. Well, things get gnarly, then they drip back to sane. Yeah, things get gnarly, then they drip back to sane. It's not a science or a founded claim. It is just a hope. Well, just give it a skeleton and it'll walk around. Just give it a skeleton and let it walk around. Just give it a skeleton and let it walk around.
I like when Modest Mouse just gets messy. Like, it sounded like I was complaining that he took two fucking songs and mashed them fucking together, but I kind of love that. I like when he likes to fucking flip the bird, like, oh, you want me to do this? Ah, fuck you. I'm going to do this over here. I'm totally into middle fingers. All right, so we got a 27-second interlude here. I've heard very little Modest Mouse. I didn't know they got this funky. Yeah, dude, they absolutely do. What do you think of them so far? It's a great record. 5 fucking songs in it. It's just like 5 out of 5. Total banger. I'm glad you like them, Cariosa. We'll let this run into the next track. I love the mixture of the electronic with the more folky, like alt-rocky stuff. I just think it's a good vibe. Well, gotta sleep, you know what I mean?
I'm gonna send you a picture while you're standing in line at the grocery store. Crazy stuff I find. I can't talk right now, maybe another.
Yeah, you already got your streak. Yeah, I'm sorry. I have something caught my eye. I've had like in my fucking right eye, something keeps like there's something fucking bothering shit out of me. I must have like a fucking lash that's growing like right into my fucking eye, bothering the shit out of me. Been for like 2 days. Yo, this is a real vibe. This song's a real fucking vibe. Let's go back a little bit.
Now, maybe another time. I can't talk right now, maybe another time. Gonna send you a text on the commute drive. Just a few little questions and a couple of jibes. I can't talk right now, maybe.
The bass on this album is so good.
Gonna send you a text just to say goodnight. But I can't talk right now, maybe another night. I'm gonna stay in touch with a few more chimes, but I can't talk
room with no furniture. All jokes aside, no great rapport. No, I can't talk right now, maybe tomorrow.
I can't place if that is a female backing vocalist that's joining him every once in a while, or if it's him singing falsetto. I'm really interested to see if, like, I'm searching up it does not have a featured female backing vocalist. The primary vocal tracks rely on Isaac Brock himself alongside credited background vocals from musician Zachary Carper from the punk band Fiddlar. Oh, wow. Wow. However, the album does have prominent female creative leadership behind the scenes, as it was co-produced and shaped by noted producer and engineer Susie Shin, known for her work with Weezer and Panic at the Disco. If you're hearing distinct high harmonies or multi-track vocals on the new record, it's typically the result of Brock layering his own voice. And that's kind of what I was thinking, but some of it just felt very distinctively female. Doesn't surprise me that it's all just him. This is creeping to be almost my favorite track on the album. What a good song. I mean, he is kind of a vocal chameleon in a lot of ways. His old albums, he kind of goes all over the place. This album in particular goes along the lines, I think, vocally, along with the, like, Good News for people who like Bad News, and then the one that had the hot air balloon on it. I forget what that one is. The more poppy Modest Mouse, not the more yelly, screamy, surly, drunk sailor Isaac Brock. This album doesn't have a lot of that on it. This is very far a much smoother Isaac Brock for sure. Yeah, that's a really good fucking song, dude. That's right up there with the Third Side of the Moon. I really love the Third Side of the Moon. I think that's such a good song. This is right there, though. These two are my favorite two tracks so far, for sure. Speak and Spell or Not is the next track. How far are we in this gimmick? We're on track number 8 of 15, and there are a couple like interlude type tracks. So this album's gonna fly by pretty soon here. Oh, they played this one live for sure.
And we get where we get, our baggage comes out random. It's not an insult, it's just the truth. But the rest of us have to live outside of you. I don't have to get you, but you sure as hell do. It's not the part that can come after.
This song has the Float On vibes. This kind of has that same template like they had on that song Float On that everybody knows.
I know this because I'm living it. Western movies always end the way they begin, where somebody gets ended. I can speak, but I cannot spell.
Catchy tune.
I know myself, but not very well, so I make a note to read, to fall asleep, to choose the news, and then I can't sleep after. I guess this is as far as we go.
That's a great hook.
I guess this is as far as we go.
Well, Cariosa, that is their hit, right? If there's any song you're gonna know, it's that one. It was everywhere. It's in like the Guitar Hero games, right? It's arguably like a huge hit. Everyone, even normies, know that fucking song.
Chapters ahead, we probably could have avoided this, but that's not the way it shook out, and we get what we get, a trifling disaster. Skip the line to jump ahead, but we're all getting on the same aeroplane when we leave the sky and come back again. Our baggage doesn't land there.
Tight little pop tune. That's great. This album seems to fluctuate between tight little pop tunes and really stripped down, kind of weird electro folk type stuff, right? That seems to be the theme of this album. Next song is Rotten Fruit. Not a bad song yet. This entire album's a fucking banger so far.
I have so much to remember, but more ways to forget. Well, it's a simple equation, but
I like, there's so much like electronic stuff going on in all of this music. Like he's leaning heavy on the keyboards on this. Like, just listen, even from the beginning, there is this weird dichotomy of like the natural percussive instruments along with the keyboardist that's bringing in like, you know, pre-programmed drums that makes this sound a lot bigger and a lot more future forward than most of this kind of music does. It really does remind me a lot of some of those albums that Radiohead did post OK Computer, right? I mean, it's definitely not as far in that direction as like Kid A or Amnesiac were, but like some of those other albums like In Rainbows and what was that? It was at the King of Limbs, where there was just this, it was a definite, like they were trying to throw back a little bit to the alt-rocky guitar forward stuff, but they still were like, there was no way they were ever getting rid of the electronic influence that Kid A and Amnesiac brought into the band, or OK Computer, obviously. Boy, those albums really like permeated the culture, didn't they? I mean, there's a lot of that DNA in this. Why did it start over? Apple Music, you're fucking drunk tonight, dude. a nice dirty synth.
But I refuse to do the math. Turn us out, not giving a fuck is not the same as being zen. Well, I just figured this out, but for the wrong reasons. All the fruit trees are, all the fruit trees are, all the fruit is falling. All the fruit trees are, all the fruit trees are, all the fruit is rotten. I have so much truth.
Yeah, absolutely, Poppy. It is almost like so distorted. Like that sound is almost like a jigsaw, right? Where they've pushed it to the point past distortion, right? And it just hits a brick wall, and the sound is what it is, right? That whole part, that entire, like, I guess you could call it the chorus. There's a lot going on there. That's a pretty heavy chorus with a lot of non-heavy instruments. Let's listen to that again.
All the fruit trees are, all the fruit trees are, all the fruit is falling. All the fruit trees are, all the fruit trees are, all the fruit is rotten. I have so much
And how they make it that heavy and have every instrument audible is interesting too. Because we're going to listen to it one more time, like his voice is literally dead center. And then right, I would say probably just a sliver over to the right is that like really crushed angular, like 8-bit Game Boy fucking sound. Later, Kariosa, thanks for joining us, man. I hope you get a chance to listen to the rest of this album. I think you would love it. And then they got the guitars panned out this way, right? It's just like a really huge sound. They've been doing that a lot on this album. Let's hear this again.
All the fruit trees are, all the fruit trees are, all the fruit
Like the guitars are like this.
all the fruit trees are, all the fruit trees are, all the fruit is rotten.
And then there's like whistling and mumbling. And when I do this, I'm like trying to like from left to right. I'm like, that's how when I'm listening, I just like whistling is happening here. Mumbling is happening here. Guitars are happening here. Guitars are happening here. Vocals are happening here. Keyboards are happening here. It's freaking ridiculous. Oh, I think I got to take my dog out. After this fucking song, I got to take Kevin out. Hold on, guys. Let's hear this one last time.
All the fruit trees are, all the fruit trees are, all the fruit is falling. All the fruit trees are, all the fruit trees are, all the fruit is rotten. I have so much to remember, can only remember half. Well, it's a simple equation, but I refuse to do the math. It is not an insult if you know that it's the truth. Well, if it's hard for you to hear this, then the rest is up to you. So, all the fruit trees are, all the fruit trees are, all the fruit is falling. All the fruit trees are, all the fruit trees are, all the fruit is rotten.
That almost sounds like someone with an air balloon going.
I should hide my beard and curl up in a bush. I'm pretty sure my knees have got the power left to push. Inside of every grave I know I found a favorite friend. Left behind the memory inside, no time to move.
Aztec Challenge on Commodore 64. That's what it sounds like. Hold on. Let's test this fucking theory. Aztec, what's it called? as, ooh, I can't, what are you doing? Why can't I type today? There it is, music. All right, here we go. The main theme of Aztec Challenge. What is this? This is definitely not it. Here it is. It kind of has that farty quality, doesn't it? God, it's just pure static. Give me a second, Kevin. Fucking nailed it, dude. Absolutely hear what you're saying. I absolutely hear it. What a weird fucking song. What a great song. There's a lot of weird sounds that ran through that motherfucker. That was a cool one, man. All right, so the next one's a real chiller, kind of dirgy kind of tune, Knocked Down by Waves. I gotta take my dog out real quick and I'll be right back. Okay, we're back. I gotta let Kevin out tonight when he basically goes by the door. He was kind of locked up all day while I was gone. So he's been a good boy. He wants to go out there and sniff around and be a dickhead. He can go around and sniff around, be a dickhead. All right, so we're going to go on to track number 10, Knocked Down by Waves, which has more akin, if I remember correctly, to Dog Bed in Heaven and Remember Yourself, which seemed to be the more folkier tunes on the album. Everything else is pretty much straight up like alt rock type stuff. But Knocked Down by Waves is probably, if I remember correctly, kind of the most out of left field song on this record. Let's check it out real quick.
Knocked down by waves, oh, the hell that knocked down by waves, knocked down by waves, oh, what's the point of it? Well, knocked down by waves, knocked down by waves, on the side of it, knocked down by waves. But I'm not just in the dark, I'm an open door, won't close them. I'm not just in the dark, the opens when you say. I'm not just any door that opens when you say.
That just feels like, you know what? I've been fucking around with the guitar tonight. Kind of came up with this. I don't know where to go with it. Here we go. Here it is. I like that tune. It's not one of my favorite tunes on the album, but it's I mean, at some point we had to get a fucking curveball on this album, right? That song's okay. It's all right. Next song is Absolutely Necessary Never. He wrote that after drinking on the beach. Yeah, he drank so much and only had a guitar, and he couldn't get up off of the sand, and the waves kept hitting him. If we want to take a very literal interpretation of that song. He's like, oh, fuck, I can't get up. The hell with it. Oh, shit. This is very 80s sounding here so far. Almost like the Eurythmics.
Never been quite what I meant to. I don't really expect to. But God, I want to build you a castle. Oh God, I want to save you the trouble. Opening your mouth is disaster. It doesn't matter if you weren't plastered in. I'm drinking all the blood from my shadow. Drinking all the blood from my shadow. Absolutely necessary, never. Absolutely necessary, never. Absolutely necessary, maybe. Absolutely necessary, maybe. Layover in Denver, Colorado.
Like, it's a mixture of the Eurythmics and the Clash. This is a pretty straightforward kind of little pop. Like, there's a lot of pop on this album, man.
They say that there's another underneath them. Blank shells in a shotgun. Accidentally fire. Oh, I think I may have got one.
A little hints of Interpol in there.
My own shadow. And I killed my own shadow. Absolutely necessary, maybe. Absolutely necessary, maybe. Absolutely necessary, maybe sometimes. So absolutely necessary, never sometimes. Absolutely necessary, maybe. Absolutely necessary, maybe.
That's kind of how the whole album's been, Poppy. For those of you that didn't read Poppy's note or text here, funny how it goes from a simple song to something more complicated and busy. That kind of seems to be the theme of the album. Like it likes to kind of ebb and flow that way. I mean, I don't know how much Modest Mouse you've heard in the past, Poppy. That's kind of their shtick. They like to mix it up between and oscillate between very mellow folk Americana type stuff and then super noisy rock. And there was a point where, and I could be misspeaking here because I'm a very casual Modest Mouse fan. I by no means know everything they've ever recorded. I've listened to quite a few records of theirs, but by no means do I have like this comprehensive knowledge of their discography. But there was that point, I believe, because if I remember correctly, there wasn't a lot of electronic stuff on like the Lonesome Crowded West or the Moon in Antarctica. But like once they did that one album, Good News for People with Bad News, it felt like those pop elements started really creeping into their sound in kind of like a more embedded way. Where the albums before that felt more kind of like indie noise rock and folk minded. From that point on, they kind of became almost like a hybrid pop band.
Get high on your low self-esteem. Did you fall off your own only dream and crush it until it was all broke? Oh goddamn, what a hassle!
This album has a lot of like funky rhythms.
And I'm a king at White Castle, and I'm waiting just to go home. Yeah, I'm waiting just to
He's a lot more hook oriented on this album than just rambly, right? This is funky, has a lot of grooves. I'm fucking into this. There hasn't, other than that, than Knock Down by Waves, which sounds like old school fucking Modest Mouse. I'm into it. It's just kind of like, I mean, it's 1:15. There's not much there to fucking chew on, right? It's just him constantly singing, Knock Down by Waves, boy. Hell with it. Yeah, it's definitely way more complicated, way more pop driven. This is a very produced album, man. That's a good tune, dude. Everything's super vibey on this album. We got 4 songs left, and these are all pretty short songs. Holy shit. Song About Nothing is next.
This is a song about nothing, sing along, sing along. It's a song about nothing, sing along. This is a song about nothing, sing along, we'll sing along. It's a song about nothing, sing along.
All right, later, Poppy. Take care, brother.
Glass, washing all the cars roll past, taking blurry photographs, licenses and plans a day. How the hell can nothing take so long? This is a song about nothing, sing along, sing along. You are laying on lazy grass, washing all the clouds swim past. I'm relaxed and you're relaxed, we keep doing nothing all day long. This is a song about nothing, sing along. It's a song about nothing, sing along, sing along. This is a song about nothing, sing along. This is a song about nothing, sing along, sing along. It's a song about nothing, sing along.
That is absolutely. What's the song about, Mike Heads? Well, hello, Mike Heads. What's the song about? It's about nothing. Sing along.
Reading past the paragraphs, missing one, then double back. Working on my tinfoil hat, magnetic fields and all of that. How long this nothing be so strong? This is a song about nothing, sing along. This is a song about nothing, sing along, sing along. It's a song about nothing, sing along, sing along. It's a song about nothing, sing along. This is a song about nothing, sing along, sing along. It's a song.
I gotta tell you, as noisy as this song is and as grungy as it is, this is my least favorite song of the album. There's really nothing to this song. I mean, it is a song about nothing, so sing along, but kind of want it to just be over. This just feels like a fuck around song. Like, you know, that we had this on the back burner. This is like a B-side, but why don't we just toss it into the album for reasons? Yeah. That's the first song where I've been kind of like, This is Stoner Party. So let me get this right. From Knockdown by, starting with Knockdown by Waves, the rest of this album, other than Absolutely Necessary Never, has literally just been fuck around songs. 2 straight songs of them just fucking off. And then we're going for another track that's only 1:55. Look how far. I know the last song's a good song. I forgot about this section. He gives absolutely 0 fucks. He's just going to do whatever the fuck he wants to do. That's the first song. What, that last song was the first, or what was it? Was it the last song? Was it a song about nothing? The first song where we actually heard Surly screaming Isaac Brock.
I used to slither in the grass. Can't believe how long I've wanted to be living in the past. You say that you're related to ancient kings or ancient songs. Why don't you build a time machine and show me you've fallen just so far? Look how far we have come.
This, to me, on this entire album, is the most old school sounding Modest Mouse tune of the album. To me, like, this reminds me of the old shit where he just fucking rambly, yelly, and it's kind of angular, and it's groovy, but at the same time, it's starting and stopping and spittering and sputtering. This is a great tune. I like this song.
God, we're so fucking dumb. Look how far we haven't come. Oh my God, we're so stupid dumb. An object inanimate layer deep in the earth's crust. They pulled me out and they chiseled me into someone else's bust.
Yep. It does sound like that, doesn't it? But most of the album has kind of sounded like that album, and then the one before it, the Good News for People Who Like Bad News, just like the bigger sounding Modest Mouse, where they were in that transition to like becoming a pop band, like a pop alt rock band. This song definitely has that vibe for sure. God, isn't that the fucking truth? Did he write that song about America? That's a great fucking tune. After almost 4 straight tracks of fucking off. I mean, Absolutely Necessary Never definitely was not a fucking off track. But Knocked Down by Waves, Song About Nothing, and Stoner Party are literally just like, you know what, I got a couple minutes, I could pound something out. All right, let's get to the last song, which is Impossible Some Days, which if I remember correctly is a pretty great fucking track. There's that fucking old string bean dude on bass, just locking it the fuck down, boys.
Oh, it's not enough just being here or just simply being alive. Although nothing stays the same the whole time. Well, everything's impossible if you don't even try to try. Although no one stays the same the whole time. All of those impossible Sundays. All of those impossible Sundays. All of those impossible Sundays. Well, guess you stayed asleep every Monday.
Fuck, I wish I could stay asleep every fucking Monday. I don't know about you.
Keep it down inside your head, 'cause I'm still trying to sleep. Keep it down inside your head, 'cause I'm still trying to
Fun little march there.
dreaming of impossible Sundays. Dreaming of impossible Sundays.
I don't know about you. If you guys noticed, this is the first track that doesn't have like pre-programmed drums on it. Like that's an actual drummer playing the entire time. I guess I haven't noticed up until now. Like the whole album's had so much like programmed, triggered electronic drums and keyboards all over it, where this is like, I think this, please tell me if I'm wrong, just a straight up rock tune with no electronic instruments other than, obviously, I mean, they're running through amps and electric guitars and stuff like that, but I don't hear any keyboards.
Keep it down inside your head, 'cause I'm still trying to sleep. Dreaming of impossible Sundays. Dreaming of impossible Sundays. The rocks become liquid, the liquid it turns into a gas, and eventually the skies they turn to glass. Well, guess you stayed asleep every Monday. Guess you stayed asleep every Monday. Dreaming of impossible Sundays. Dreaming of impossible Sundays.
That's a weird guitar line. I want to hear that again. It's like, it's a weird guitar line.
Those impossible Sundays, on those impossible Sundays, and I can be impossible Sundays.
It's not the same. He's not playing it the same every time. Is that a speaking spell? What is that? Here we go. We're going into noise territory, guys. Then our good old bass player just locking it down. Fucking solid. What a good fucking record that is. I'm glad we re-listened to that. I've been meaning, there's just been too much falling on my plate lately that I've been getting sidetracked too much with other music. I know when Ken's and I sat and listened to this the first time, I really liked it, but I think it's better. The second time I've listened to it, it's so much better. And maybe it's because we heard a lot of these tracks, a lot more tracks than I realized live. Like a real huge amount of these tracks were played when we saw them. So what a great record. It makes me want to go back, and maybe I should put this on the list for us to do. Let me get the randomizer wheel out, because we got to choose the next record we're going to listen to. But maybe we should put on, because I haven't heard it yet, Modest Mouse. What was it called? The Great Casket? The Golden Casket. I have not listened to that record. We're going to put that on the list. I want to tick that thing off. But Eraser and Amaze, for me, I mean, if it feels like a return. Like, I mean, obviously, I don't know how the last couple records were because I didn't hear them. I'm trying to, let me see, going back. I heard some of Strangers to Ourselves. I don't think I heard the whole album. I'm trying to think what the single was. Or maybe I heard it like one time. I don't even remember. It's been so long since I heard this record. But I remember being kind of meh about it when I heard. Lampshades on Fire, was that the big one? I probably heard that track. You're probably right about that. Yeah. I mean, that's the one that they're considering the most listened to track. I mean, I've definitely heard No One's First and You're Next for sure. But these two albums I'm not as familiar with. So maybe we'll go backwards. You know what? I don't even think I've ever heard Baron Von Bullshit Rides Again. I don't think I've ever heard this record. Maybe I need to do a deep dive, because I know there's a bunch of records. Like, I've definitely heard Lonesome Crowded West, Moon in Antarctica, Good News for People Who Love Bad News, We Were Dead Before the Ship Even Sank, No One's First and You're Next, and then select tracks off of Strangers to Ourselves, and obviously the new one we just got done listening to. But it looks like there's a number of albums I haven't listened to. Like, I don't think I've listened to any of these old ones here. Building Nothing Out of Something is so good. Where is that? Oh, that's this one? Yeah, I don't know if I've heard this one. I bet you I've heard some of the songs on it, though. I bet you. I'm like the titles aren't hit me, but that doesn't really mean much because I hardly ever remember song titles. I'm just fucking awful that way. Eraser and Amaze. Let's get to the rating of this gimmick. Let's see, how many tracks? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 out of 15 I put stars on, but that's not really fair because I mean, how often am I going to like personally seek out the interlude? I'm like, and even Knocked Down by Waves, I like that song. I should just put a star on that one. I like that one too. The rest of these tracks are just kind of like interstitial tracks. Like the song About Nothing, that's probably my least favorite song on the album. So I would probably give this a solid 8.5 out of 10. Solid 8.5 out of 10. Fucking great record. I'd listen to that one again. No problem. Absolutely. So anyways, that's that. I hope my buddy Sam likes us going through that and listening to it. That was entirely for him. So let's go to the randomizer reel. Let's see what the next one's going to be. There's been a lot more put on this fucking thing. Let's see. Was there another album put on here? Let me check real quick. I think there was a Coheed album somebody just added to this as well. Okay, so we can get rid of this one. That one we just did. Yeah, there is a Coheed album. Coheed and Cambria. And which one was the album? Second Stage. And it's Second Stage Turbine Blade is the album that was requested by Nuclear Ranger. So we'll add that one too. And any of you guys out there, and I'm going to start including this on the videos, what we're going to be doing next. But any of you guys out there in YouTube land or on Twitch, and my voice is obviously going because it's been a long week and I'm tired, want to add your stuff to the wheel for us to sit and listen to, go over to the Discord channel and hit up the album recommendation, reaction recommendation thread and add albums for me to listen to. And then we have a possibility we'll listen to your shit. But right now, let's get to it. What are we going to listen to next? Spin this fucking gimmick. Oh shit. We're listening to Slipknot. I guess the next album we're going to be listening to is the second album by Slipknot, Iowa, which I believe I've heard some of in the past, but I've never sat and listened to the whole album. So our journey down fucking new metal, the pit of new metal, is going to continue because you guys on YouTube just absolutely want me to become a new metal fan, and I can't guarantee that's going to be a thing. I'm very picky about the new metal I'll listen to, and it's definitely not Limp Bizkit. I will celebrate.